What really obvious thing have you only just realized? Valve released Steam. It took me a long time to realize the pun. Got 'em. My favorite along these lines was the old CD burning software, Nero, short for Nero Burning ROM. Their logo was even a graphic of the Colosseum on fire lol. Well crap. Till. Super embarrassing, but in college I would order Roman Cokes because I heard everyone else ordering the same. Turns out I misheard everyone and found out it was just rum and coke. A Roman Coke does sound like a great drink though. Mix equal parts rum and cola. Pour over ice and serve. Ah, just like the ancient Romans did. Except the Romans used lead cups. I recently realized I was allergic to carrots. I just thought they made everyone's mouth numb, you know, just like almonds. I also learned recently that I have an almond allergy. Same here. Thought that raw hazelnuts don't taste good because they give this weird tingle in your mouth. Found out I had a nut allergy when it suddenly turned from tingle to anaphylaxis, and I ended up in hospital for eating nut chocolate. Same. I asked my husband why carrots made your tongue itchy. I am 35. That Jessica Rabbit is not a rabbit, but took Roger Rabbit's last name. On a similar vein, as a child I was confused as to why Mary, Kate, and Ashley were referred to as the Olsen twins, and why ads on TV only ever showed 2 of them at a time, and then 16-year-old me found out about Mary Kate. This is going to make me seem dumb as hell, but I recently realized why pickles don't ever come fresh. Maybe not the way you are playing with them. Get this man a silver. Well, how the turntables. They do. But when fresh they are generally called cucumbers. That the division symbol, A, is just a blank fraction with dots replacing the numerator and denominator. Well hell, all of these I read in this. This one got me. Mind you, I teach elementary school. Thank your lucky stars I don't teach math. Percent symbol 2%. Stop. I can't handle much more. In the same vein, it took me longer than I'd care to admit to figure out that rational numbers means they can be expressed as a ratio of integers. I never had a math teacher explain it that way and it never clicked. I just thought, wow, what a weird way to describe numbers. I live in a part of Chicago called Greektown for 8 years and never realized the blue and white Christmas lights were meant to represent the colors on their flag. It just dawned on me today. I live in Denmark, so English is not my native language, and I just realized that weekend means the end of the week. The odd thing is that in the US, our calendars are arranged Sunday to Saturday, so it's sort of the weekend, but it's also the week beginning. It was a bit of a surprise when I moved to Denmark and saw calendars arranged Monday to Sunday. Weekends. Like bookends. That's how I always thought of it. Sunday is the front end and Saturday is the back end. I thought astigmatism was astigmatism. So I thought you could have 2 stigmatisms. And I confused stigmatism with both stigma and stigmata. The Grammys are called that because the awards are gramophones. Now everything has sense now. This girl I know has a dog named Deirdre. 2 years into knowing her and being around Deirdre, I was having a conversation with her sister-in-law and I said, I love the name Deirdre, how did she come up with that? Her sister-in-law responds, Deirdre, and I said, yay, it's a neat name. She started laughing and said, no, D-O-G. The way you spell dog, I'm still mind blown about this lol. I knew someone whose dog was named Spot. S-P-O-T. S-P-O-T. Today my friend realized pipe cleaners were originally for cleaning pipes. After I suggested using one to clean a metal straw because it's similar to a pipe. Oh, I had that one about 7 years ago when my stoner ass was trying to clean out a glass pipe. Man, this is so stupid. Someone should invent some sort of freaking pipe cleaner. Oh. When I was little we had an Australian shepherd named Sydney. I did not understand why her name was Sydney until 18 years later. I named my American Eskimo Juno. You have an Eskimo? He has an American. I learned that all spice is actually one spice, and not a blend of spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. And tasting it doesn't help disprove that theory. My highest rated comment after 10 years on Reddit posting every day is this. And after a few hours, yeah okay, I guess that's AskReddit for you. I also just learned that, from your comment. When I was a kid my mom told me my rabbit Rosie went to live on a farm. In my early 20s I saw an episode of The Sopranos where everyone makes fun of Tony when he realizes his dog didn't really go to live on a farm. That's when I realized Rosie had not gone to a farm either. Edit. I would like to officially apologize for the cascading wave of terrible realizations my post has caused. Truly we sit on thrones of lies. If it makes you feel any better, I lived on a farm as a kid and took in 2 rabbits. One of my mom's friends was sick of her kids having rabbits, so I got them. They lived a good life. I used to bring them all of the ends of any vegetables my mom chopped up, and I gave them a lot of ice cubes in the summer. They didn't like to be petted, but they seemed to like it when I read to them. They didn't like to be petted, but they seemed to like it when I read to them. That has to be one of the cutest things I've ever read. Oh man, I dated a girl once who started telling me about her old dog who went to live on a farm. I didn't even say anything, but just the look on my face made her stop and think about it for the first time and go, oh. We had a good laugh about that, but it was pretty wild to see the realization in real time. There's an episode of Friends where they make fun of Ross for believing the family dog went to live on a farm. I watched the show with new wife a few years ago. Ross and I came to the same cruel realization at the same time. That big ships we got to turn as a kid was not actually controlling the cruise ship. That ponies are inept baby horses. I am 35. Excuse me, what the frick? Yeah. The houses in Bikini Bottom are car mufflers. What the frick? And Patrick is dumb and knows nothing because he lives under a rock. Bikini Bottom is named after the nuclear bomb testing sites and the sea life is weird from the radiation. Also bikinis are named after the radioactive site as well. But why are they mufflers? All the houses are made from trash dumped in the ocean. That to take off the plastic piece on top of deodorant you just simply twist the bottom a few times lmao. No. I must bite. That is what I have been doing for years. Makes orange juice by crushing orange against forehead. You mean there's a better way? OMG, I am so dumb. I felt like a real idiot when I found that out. I asked my dad if he could open it for me because I couldn't get that thing off, and he just took it, twisted it up, and removed it without saying anything. My grandpa used to ask me when I was a kid if I could talk without moving my lips. Being a dumbass kid I would always give it my best effort and thought I was pretty good at it. 20 years later I realized the old bugger was just telling me to shut the frick up, haha. Too bad I can't let him know I finally figured it out. Edit. Thanks for the silver, kind stranger. I'm glad this hopefully got a chuckle out of some you. I know it always gave him a grin when I failed to figure it out. Have a great night everybody. Edit 2. Well, I'll be damned. First silver and gold, it's almost like Rudolph is playing. Bad holiday dad joke. Thanks you guys. I'm glad that it's this post that got some love. My family had something in a similar vein. My parents had 3 kids, and we fought a lot, especially during car trips. Whenever we would all be in the car for more than like 10 minutes, my mom and dad would put a dollar bill on the dashboard and say, "Quiet game." Whoever was the last person to speak got the dollar. When I was a kid I thought it was just a fun game to play during car rides. I only recently realized that it was my parents' ingenious way of getting their annoying kids to shut the frick up for a car trip. I am 30 and I realized a few months ago that ora is cowboy for ora. How do you do? Not me, but my husband just understood that Q is pronounced Q and not key. His mind was blown. I have to remind myself key is pronounced key, not quay, so this made me do a double take. Key is pronounced key, not quay. Slaps face. Good damn it. In the first Fable game, there's a place called Barrowston Key. My 6th grade friend insisted that it was quarry, even though there were no R's, and I insisted it was quay because of what it looked like. We never thought to search further. In high school my choir sang Hushabye Mountain, and there was a line about boats down by the quay, and I finally had the answer. Q 5-letter word, and the last 4 are not necessary. They're all just lined up in the queue, waiting their turn. I had a boss that was under the impression that bust a nut meant to work extremely hard. Suffice to say our team meeting ended awkwardly when Sean would tell all of us to go bust a nut after the meeting. D vertical bar adora E. that they put measurement stickers next to gas station doors so if a robber is running out of the store you can get a better estimate of their height. I always thought they were just there for something fun to do on road trip stops. More than that, they are not actually accurate if you stand against them and measure that way. They are supposed to be placed so the camera will show the correct height of the person, compensating for the angle of the camera. Whoa. Whole new dimension to it now. It's called a department store because there are, wait for it, separate departments within the one store. I had a sudden clearance moment with that one recently. I only just realized this when I read this, so thanks for the comment. I didn't know the characters on Family Guy had accents. Live in New England watching with my wife, not from here, and she says wow they really nailed the accents. I say, what accents? Blew my mind when she explained not everyone talks like that LMAO. People keep praising the latest Spider-Man for his accurate Queen's accent, but I don't hear it. Bro same. People can figure out I am from New York by the way I say water, but it is not like I have a heavy Nye accent with oh crap we just say oh instead, and I never realized until someone pointed it out. Edit. Till no one pronounces oh correctly LMAO. Water. That the Houston Astros name comes from astronauts. And the Baltimore Ravens are, because Edgar Allan Poe lived and is buried in Baltimore. That parents have children write letters to Santa so they can figure out what to buy them for Christmas. I cannot believe how I never put that together after 32 years on this earth. I just thought it was fun little tradition. Cruella de Vil was a cruel devil. The word for explorer in Spanish is exploradora. Dora the Explorer are Spanish play on words. Edit. I know it's supposed to be a play on words. It's a typo. I think it's a funny coincidence with the theme of the thread, where people are realizing they've been misusing expressions. I'm going to leave it. Also maybe someone did write a Spanish play on words featuring Dora the Explorer. Today the radio taught me Mariah Carey wrote and sang All I Want for Christmas Is You. All this time I thought it was just a cover that she did so well. People loved it more than the original. Turns out it is the original. Phineas and Ferb are shaped like a P and an F. Oh. Principal Belding from Saved by the Bell is named Belding. Saw a place labeled as public house when I moved nearby recently. It was at that moment I realized, oh that's why they call them pubs. It's short for public house. Personal injury lawyer commercials play more frequently during daytime TV because their clientele is injured, stuck at home, and watching daytime TV. It called Menela's Warehouse and not Menela's Warehouse. It has been a couple years since I realized this, and I just think that is a clever name. What the frick, I just looked it up, and I still don't believe you. Learned from a similar thread, but I was 40 years old before I realized that there is an arrow indicating what side the gas cap is on by the gas gauge. Or, for cars that do not have the arrow, the gas cap is on the side the gauge is on. That alcohol does not freeze in a regular freezer. Eater, I was referring to drinks with high alcohol content, not beer and wine. I knew this, but my dumbass still tried to make frozen alcohol pops. The reason the cord hook on the vacuum spins is so you can take the whole cord off at once instead of unraveling it one loop at a time, like I have been my whole life. Edit. I learned how to spell cord today. And if you wind it up as a figure 8 between the two hooks, when you turn the hook down and take off the whole cord, it won't get tangled up as you vacuum. Edit. My first silver for a vacuum cord comment.